Hello, and welcome to this mini training all about how to create content that converts. So, chances are you are struggling with your Instagram content at the moment. You're posting consistently, but it's not bringing in consistent leads and sales and new clients. And you want to know how to break out of that mold so that you do get consistent leads that actually want to work with you, that are dreamy clients that are good to work with, and to scale your own online business to 10K months and beyond. So, today, the information we're talking about does come out of Scale the Mastermind. This is my 6-month mastermind designed for dietitians and nutritionists who want to be able to create content that converts and launch their online program. So some of this information you may have seen before if you've been to my Magnetize Your Market Challenge, but I have intentionally designed this so it is different at the same time to really add extra value. So I'm going to talk you through 3 different types of content. Just gave you a sneak peek there. 3 different types of content that I see people making, 2 that I think we should make less of, and the type of connection content that I think you should make more of. I'm going to take you through exact examples and some hooks to use as well. So the first one here is posting for views. So this strategy, you are likely scrolling the feed, looking at people that are doing well and taking ideas from them. Let me just make myself small. And taking ideas from other people's posts, or you have seen kind of types of posts that tend to get more views and more likes, and you're replicating that. Now, there's nothing necessarily wrong with this if you're doing it every now and then. However, we really don't want all of your content like this. What it really does is it just lacks this deeper level of connection, and it's not going to result in sales. So I've pulled some examples here directly from my own posts. So I'm not immune to this, but I do intentionally do some of these posts to bring in new followers or to get more views, and that's okay. But if you scroll my feed, my IBS feed, you'll notice that it's probably 1 in 20 posts that's like this. It's definitely not all of them by any means. One of the problems with this type of content is that a lot of the time it actually is focusing on pain points and can attract negativity. So you'll notice that a lot of these is kind of, it's that, oh, poor me kind of content. And yes, it's relatable, and yes, it can be, develop some connection so people can understand. You're showing your community that you understand what they're going through, but at the same time, it can attract negativity. When we're using a lot of pain point marketing, you're often going to then attracting people who are not ready to purchase or invest. They are just seeking freebies, and they're always going to object that the price is too high when you actually get down to that price point, or they're just going to ghost you. It doesn't highlight your service. It doesn't highlight how you can transform someone's life. It doesn't showcase results. It may not speak to your dream client. A lot of the time, if you are sort of going viral, it may be, a broader topic, and you risk bringing in lots of people that have nothing to do with what you can actually help them with, which can then actually result in worse engagement and worse outcomes for yourself. It's pretty superficial, and it lacks strategy overall for really creating sales. Again, nothing wrong with it if it's every now and then. We just don't want to be consistently creating content that's just for the sake of views, comments, likes, or trying to go viral. The second type of content I see most people making is educational type content. Now, if you've been around in the business space for a while, education content was very big 2021, 2022, a few years ago, and it worked. There was nothing wrong with it. However, what we've seen is with the shift in the market the last kind of 2 years is this educational content simply isn't enough to bring in high ticket clients into your service anymore. It doesn't create a really beautiful, brand awareness around your program, how you can help someone. People now more than ever, people need to have that deeper level of connection to enter into your service. Yes, because of the cost of living and because of all different things, they want to know that they can trust you and that you're actually going to get them results. And if you have an entire feed full of educational content, you're not going to get, they're not going to get that level of trust, right? They're just constantly looking like, oh yeah, she knows what she's talking about. But it has nothing to do with how you actually can help someone and how their life is going to transform. So educational content does lack an emotional appeal. It doesn't highlight your unique value. It lacks a direct call to action. So even if you did educational and then tried to do a call to action at the end that was like, work with me, it's pretty weak. It's not going to be activating someone that's going to then jump in your DMs or go straight to your sales page and purchase directly there. It doesn't show you crazy results or your clients. It misses the opportunity for any kind of scarcity or urgency. So something we talk about inside of Scale, the mastermind, when we talk about, launching a program, is how to actually add scarcity and urgency in an authentic way, so not kind of faking things, because often people need that little extra step to really get themselves over the line. It can lead to information overload. So if they're reading educational content left, right, and center, they're like, I don't know what to believe. I don't know who to trust. And again, it's attracting people that just aren't ready to invest. They are there for the freebies. They're there for the free information. And they are most of the time going to object that the price is too high. Very similar to the first type of content. There's nothing wrong with doing this every now and then. I just don't think the majority of your post and your strategy should not be made up of just purely educational content. Now, remember the goal with marketing. So your content needs to build trust, authority, and connection. This is how you're going to be able to sell a high ticket program. To do this, you need really consistent messaging, and we need brand awareness across your program. So if I was to come and audit your page and look through the past 9 posts, let's say, I want it to be really clear of who you help, the kind of results that you get, how my life is going to feel and how my life is going to look different after working with you. We want overall that positive view and to feel empowered, and really setting you up as your solution, or your program up as the solution to your dream client's problem and reaching their desired points as well. So to do that, I'm going to give you some examples of how we actually post with intention and some exact hooks to do it as well, and how to correct some of the, the general educational content or the content for views, and some swaps as well. So these are some examples again from my own post, my IBS page, that are more connection based. So the first one there is looking at, I shared a bunch of client testimonials of all different people that had been avoiding a bunch of foods and now were eating a bunch of foods, and how their life was different and how that made them feel. So this was highlighting, yes, mistakes that people make. It also was highlighting, it was looking at barriers someone might have for working with me. So they might be scared that they have to cut out these foods, or they're going to be on a really restrictive diet. But at the same time as, just posting client results, I'm showing them that that barrier is not something they need to worry about. The second one there is a client result. So I told a story about my client Brittany and how she can now travel overseas without worry about her symptoms. The third one there is I'm really painting the picture of the future. So if you started working on your program, on your IBS, or whatever it is that you help someone with, this is what your future could look like. So you always want to paint that positive picture. And I was really direct in this one. I said not just like, oh, if you started, the low FODMAP diet. I was like, if you joined my program today, like this is what your future is going to look like. We want that kind of energy where you are bold, you are proud of what you do, and you know that you can actually help someone's life. And the third one there is an embodiment piece. So I was talking about how I personally now can go out to breakfast with my friends without worrying about my IBS. And, I showed a video of how I was embodying that as well. So this is kind of connection content. If you want to take your content from generic, that is not making many sales, to magnetic, that actually draws people in. So I call this attract marketing. So instead of marketing where you are trying to force someone to change, you're cold DMing people, or, those kind of like tactics that take a lot of time and are not very effective. We want to create content that's magnetic, that's going to draw people into you. So either to your DMs, to a sales call, to a masterclass, or directly to the link in the bio and purchase. I literally have people that go straight to the link in my bio that I have never spoken to that will purchase my $2,000 program, which is 2,000 USD or 3,000 Australian, without even speaking to me. So this is the kind of, when you have a really great content strategy and a launch strategy, that's the kind of results you can expect. So, like I mentioned, number 1, we want to position yourself as the authority. So instead of general kind of 5 foods to help X, this is a different hook that you could use where you are taking this from, you could do a bit of education in here, but you're going from the place that you are the authority and this is the result that your clients are getting. So how my client went from where they started to where they are now. We want to use who your dream client is and where they likely are now and where they want to go. So you're painting that picture for your dream client. For example, this is an old post of mine where I did 8 foods to help with constipation. It got views, it got likes, and that's okay. But this one here is much more powerful from a connection point of view. I said how my IBS Accelerator client is eating onion again for the first time in 15 years without fear. This then followed up with a screenshot on the screen that she had sent me as well. Number 2, we want to establish trust. So again, instead of something like swap this food for that food in your diet to help X condition, then we're going to point directly to your strategy, your program, your framework, and how it can help to reach your client's desires. So this is the exact strategy that allowed my client to achieve desire. For example, here's an old one of mine. So this one was a low FODMAP kind of vegetable swap. And here is that what the client story that I'm talking about there. So yes, we want to show client results, but we also want to know how to do this in a storytelling fashion and take someone along that journey, always painting the picture of what they were struggling with and where their life was now, where your dream client is probably stuck right now, and where their life is and where your dream client wants to go. And then making that connection of, this is how we got there. This is my, this is my strategy. This is my framework. This is my program. Call to action. This is what you need to do if you're feeling empowered and activated right now. I think it's really important to point to your framework or your strategy rather than just kind of slipping into education. So in this post, if I then went to, okay, well, I made her eat these foods and I suggested this fiber supplement and we started going for walks every morning, that just kind of slips back to educational content. But instead, we want to establish that you are the trusted authority and your program is the solution for them. Number 3, you want to share how you embody your dream client's desires. So if you do have something in common with your client's desire, either you have had that condition, you have had, you used to be where they are now and you're living the life, then we want to use that as well through your content. If you don't have that direct link, that's okay. There are other ways around this as well. Sometimes we just pull like similarities, or we use more what makes you passionate about what you do. So if you're doing some sort of general post for attention and likes, here is a hook that you can use instead. So the one I pulled here is, one of these kind of quote ones. I do them every now and then. Again, it brings in views, it brings in new people to my page, and that's not a bad thing. We just don't want it to be the majority of your posts. And there's an example of a carousel of how I am embodying my dream client's desires, which is to be able to go to weddings and wear tight clothes, to be able to not get bloated, not skip meals, and to dance and drink the night away without a second thought of my IBS. So number 4 is we want to share why you do things differently. So we want to set yourself up as the expert. We want to establish that trust and authority. And we want your audience to understand why what you do is different to probably what they've done in the past, because chances are your dream client has been trying to make a change and it hasn't worked for them so far. So they probably have some barriers or preconceived barriers around what it is to work with you. So we want to show them why this is different. So again, instead of a educational post like 3 tips to help with X, we could do something like, if your goal is to achieve desire, you need to stop making this mistake. That mistake could be something really common that people do make or think that that's the solution when you know that that's not the solution. Here's an example from one of mine. So the low FODMAP dairy post, again, kind of general educational, one for views, saves, and likes. And then the one I mentioned earlier about how I did, client testimonials all over the screen, about how they are now living the life, how they didn't have to cut out foods, they're actually adding more foods back into their diet. Now, if you are a dietitian in Australia and you don't want to use testimonials through your feed post, again, that's okay. We have strategies around that. And number 5, and the final one I'm going to talk through today, is paint the picture with a focus on desire points, not pain points. This is a really big one. If you want to speak to people that are ready for change and that are more likely to jump in soon rather than spending 8 months consuming your content, then speaking to their desire points is what's going to help you get there. So pain point marketing is focusing on the negatives. It's always kind of like poor me kind of marketing, and you're trying to convince someone to change. Instead, what if we paint the picture and think about, okay, who is out there? These people are out there, right? There's millions of people in this world, in your ideal client, and they are out there. There's a certain population here are out there looking for you and looking for your help. So instead of focusing on all these people that, constantly have excuses, are in your DM saying price is too high, looking for freebies, what if we just kind of shut those people out and thought about, okay, what is the person thinking right now that is actually looking for help? If you ever think about a time that you were looking for help, whether you were struggling with something, maybe it's business coaching, and you came across someone's page and you just was able to go through all of their posts and think, wow, she's really talking about me. She's really painting this picture. She really gets it. And this feels really good. It feels positive. You have that positive energy when someone lands on your page. This is what desire marketing can do. So for example, here is a pain point kind of more style post that I actually did recently. I was testing something out and I was kind of trying to tweak it. And honestly, I don't think I would do it again. So this one had said, throwing yourself a month-long pity party isn't going to help you get relief from IBS, taking action will. So you can see that this is a little bit more pain pointy because I'm kind of speaking to someone that is throwing themselves a pity party, and I'm saying stop doing that. It's time to change. Instead of just speaking to someone that is already ready for change, this is a similar style post, not similar, this is a style of post that I do quite often. Whenever I'm launching my program, I do, this is what your future will look like when you start now. In literally 2 weeks, this is how you're going to feel. In 1 month, 2 months, this is how you're going to feel. By X date, so if you are around Christmas, if you're around New Year's, like painting that picture of how their life is going to look different. This is what is possible when you actually master this strategy. So when you have a good content strategy that works for you, you will be selling out launches, you'll be scaling to consistent 10K, 20K months. And when you do launch a program, you're going to have DMs full of interested buyers. This is exactly what I've been able to do with my own online business. I've been able to grow to consistent 20K months while also dropping back how many hours a week I see clients. It's down to about 5 hours, face to face, or via Zoom, client hours, which means I have lots of time to focus on just like running the business, social media, and just living my life how I want and not being stuck in one-to-one consults all week. If you do need help with growing your online business and mastering content, then I do have Scale the Mastermind. This is a 6-month mastermind for dietitians and other health professionals designed to help you scale to consistent 10K months by mastering your content, your launching, and then looking at your offer suite as well, while still putting life first. If you do want more information on this, then please send me a DM and I can let you know when next spots are available inside the program. Amazing. If this was helpful, please send me a message, or if you have any questions, send me a message over on Instagram.